December 7 election with a photo of Mrs. Elizabeth Villas, who is the chair of CODEO. And the president says we're committed to transparent, credible polls. He's photographed quite happy on the front page.
On the front page of the Daily Guide, there's a photo of Joanna Jan. NDC fights EC over a Memphis Central Parliamentary candidate. Speaker kicks out 4 MPs. Photos of the 4 MPs on the front page of the paper. And also on the anti-LGBTQ bill, file defense in 7 days. Supreme Court to Parliament.
Meanwhile, the Chronicle says anger over removal of 4 MPs. Take your pile. We won't be part of it until. Apenyo Makin tells, and wonder why they keep calling him Togbe Bagbin, because apparently he's dressed like an Anglo chief. So the photo of Abang Bagbin bedecked in the Awomefias type of regalia, or the typical Anglo man's cloth. Now, Professor Ali from Marcos fans, assault Chronicle reporter, and others. This has generated some angst from the GJA because some EIB reporter was also manhandled. Meanwhile, Baumia said to launch music streaming and taxi hailing apps. It's also on the front page.
Oh, man of many colors.
Now, there's a very interesting scripture on the Chronicles front page. Leviticus 24:19-20.
Share the word.
Anyone who injures their neighbor is to be injured in the same manner. Fracture for fracture. Eye for eye. Tooth for tooth. The one who has inflicted the injury must suffer the same injury.
This one is for Galamsey.
No, I think Chronicle is telling us something.
Yeah, but I will put it on Galamsey rather.
No.
I won't take it to Parliament.
What has got to do Galamsey?
They are destroying the water. So we are meeting them eye for eye.
Masa,
Eye for eye.
I think they are basically reflecting the mood of the speaker and the NDC.
Eye for eye.
Because in 2020, Speaker Okwe did the same to Esiam.
What if they are referring to the attack on the court reporters?
Oh, guys, stop this. Let's stop this.
Republic Press's front page. NDC rejects Northern farmers 3,000 Ghana cedi relief as dry spell bites. NDC is a Futu parliamentary candidate in trouble. Mahama dodges Galamsey responsibility. Court adjourns ruling on Bernard Mona's disqualification challenge. Trotro driver killed after dispute over passenger loading right. And man remanded for defrauding fellow Nigerian in $130,000 watch fraud.
If you move to the news center, all set for Ghana card rollout globally, starting Denmark on Tuesday. Photo of the CEO, Kenneth Ajemanatefa, presenting the Ghana card to another staff in the embassy in Denmark. Also, NHIS to cover 4 mental diseases from November 1. Wasa Esikuma chief urges small-scale miners to unite against Galamsey. And then Margin CEO challenges business leaders to shape economic policies.
The front page of the Herald, NPP falls on its 2020 sword against independent candidates. Ghana's foreign ministry privatizes visa processing in $38 million deal. Businessmen and faceless politicians salivating over VRA assets. This according to their workers.
The Daily Post says NDC becomes new majority in parliament with a photo of Haruna Idrisu and Honorable Ato Forsen. And of course, Speaker declares to whom Memphis Central, Agona West and Fomena seats vacant. Lordina boost Hohwe NDC PC's campaign with photos as well.
Front page of the Inquisitor, aka the Daily Napo, and he's here. Dr. Prempe, Ghanaians will retain MPP as his ratings soar after radio interviews. Tekwe warns against government borrowing for populist agenda.
Moving on to the Ghanaian publisher, Independent MP's case. Apenyo Makin blast Bagbin. He's not happy on the front page here. Meanwhile, Chambers to Ghanaians. Ensure violent-free elections. That's Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambers. A Futu NDC PC marital scam. And the baby mama drags him to court. And then government to launch music streaming app in November. Baumia announces.
Finally from me, the front page of the BNFT. Industrial sector records 8% growth in the second quarter of 2024. United States supports drought victims with $1.7 million. Also there we have a photo of, is that the sports minister? Yes, Ghana to host Peace Go event ahead of December polls. Barca legends to play Black Stars legends for peace. Ronaldinho expected in Ghana. They're Mustafa Yusuf women. This is all Mustafa Yusuf.
Wait. Will Ronaldinho play? Is it a crowd pitch?
Kumasi, they'll play it at the Babayara Stadium.
When is this?
He's smiling here.
Ronaldinho?
Yes, Ronaldinho expected in Ghana in November. Barca to play Black Stars Legends for peace.
We'll go and watch. The way they're carrying Black Stars is, I think the Legends will give us some hope. So we'll go and watch it.
Mustafa is smiling.
But what's wrong with that? Ronaldinho is good. I'll take a picture with him.
Okay.
Democracy still only option. Kwame PNM speaking. Front page of the Informer. Also, will reward your sacrifices. Napo assures bondholders. This is on the DDEP brouhaha. Meanwhile, Nanado tells Mahama, stop running away from Baumia. And of course, the Baumia streaming service story is also here as well.
If you go online, channel1news.com, accept your new status as minority leader. Ahmed Ibrahim tells Afenyo Markin. And Afenyo Markin is also saying, we'll boycott parliament indefinitely.
Hey, what happens to our ally?
Over Badmin's ruling.
Hey, if they boycott parliament, can we still cook the ally for revocation? Let's go on. I'll come to that. Stop that.
Anyway, the speaker's full speech is also here as he declared 4 seats vacant. And then John Mahama says declaration of these vacant seats signals NDC's impending victory. In other stories, Justice Abdullah is also speaking. He says EC's disqualification of NDC's Amenfi Central PC mind-boggling. And Mahama tells Akufo-Addo, I won't elevate Bawumia to my level by debating him. So more politics there. And then on the community forum, foreigners taking over our retail business. Kaswa traders are lamenting.
Well, there's a good story in the Ghanaian Times that will help them. There's a new China mall in Kaswa. So they are going to work with cheap. No, serious. It's in the Ghanaian Times. There's a new China mall in Kaswa, massive. It's big. So maybe what are the traders saying?
Okay, we'll get into that.
I want to hear what the headline. Just the headline.
But they said they didn't like the fact that
foreigners were
taking over the retail business.
Okay, you go on. I'll bring you the Kaswa more later. No, it's serious. I'll bring down the 2-4 price.
If you go to citynewsroom.com, Kweku Azar is here. It says Babi's declaration of 4 seats vacant sets dangerous precedent. And Ghana Association of Banks offers 7 proposals to tackle fraud in the financial industry. And you have other stories. UTAC government commence immediate prosecution of individuals arrested in Galamsey. So that is also that point there. And the GJA to police arrest and prosecute assaulters of EIB journalists. And there's a picture of the GJA president here. If you go to the other portals, myjoyonline.com, Nana Osei-Bonsu is saying private sector's high hopes shattered by MPP admin's failure to deliver.
All right.
And of course, Ibn Chambers here appealing to Ghanaians to ensure violence-free elections. So those are the words of the man whose nickname is Chambo.
Okay.
And then Ansasari, Speaker's declaration of 4 seats vacant can't be challenged in court.
All right.
So that's...
We have a very interesting situation where we don't know who to refer to as majority. So, for example, go to the City News story you read. Bagmin's decision usurps Supreme Court powers. Majority.
Why?
So which are the majorities?
But it is the speaker who sets the
No, I'm not even talking about headline. I'm talking about the use of the majority to describe Apenyo Markin. That's what I'm trying to say. So maybe let's give the overall overview of the story.
Okay, so I'll take you to the front page of the Daily Graphic then. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, yesterday declared 4 parliamentary seats vacant on the premise that the current occupants have defected by filing to contest the next elections on tickets different from what they represent in the current Parliament. The ruling effectively ended the tenure of Aguna West Member of Parliament, Cynthia Morrison of the NPP, Amenfi Central MP Peter Yaw-Kwachiaka of the NDC, Suhum MP Kwejo Asante of the NPP, and Fomena Andrew Isiama Amoakon, an independent MP. Ms. Morrison, Mr. Asante, and Mr. Kwachiaka have all filed as independent candidates for the December 7 elections, while Mr. Isiama Amoakon, who was the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament until Mr. Bagbin's ruling, filed to contest the Fomena seat on the ticket of the governing NPP. Mr. Bagbin said the Speaker was called upon by the standing orders of Parliament, particularly Order 18, to inform the House of the occurrence of a vacancy of the seat of a member under Clause 1B to E, G, and H of Article 97 of the Constitution. Providing his understanding of Article 97 of the Constitution, Speaker Bagbin said at the core of the minority side statement were the provisions of Article 97(1) of the Constitution of Ghana 1992, which govern the circumstances under which a member of Parliament shall vacate his or her seat in Parliament. There are further details here. You can buy the newspaper and get
now,
more.
City Newsroom has about 5 stories that summarizes the how the news unfolded. So as you rightly read, the Speaker declared the 4 seats vacant. Next thing, majority stages walk out of Agbabin's decision to declare the seats vacant. This was after an exchange between Apenyo Markin and Speaker Bagbin. Then following from then, President Mahama was speaking, former President Mahama was speaking at a rally in Greater Accra, where he said the declaration of the 4 seats vacant was God's sign that NDC would win December election. Then Justice Abdullah, who's a lawyer who's been taking some matters like these to court, has said that power shift will force executive to cooperate with Parliament. But Kweku Azan, who's also a commentator on social media says Bagmin's declaration of 4 seats vacant sets a dangerous precedent. So there are two views on this in terms of the public domain. Then Apenyo Markin goes on to now say we'll boycott Parliament until Supreme Court rules on vacant seats, because mind you, he'd gone to the court a day before. And then the last story on this is they then issued a long press statement explaining their position that this decision usurps Supreme Court's authority. So those are the stories.
Okay.
I'm sure we can get into the details later on.
All right, then let me take you elsewhere, because I'm sure we'll deal with these matters later. Should we stay with politics? Okay.
Why not? It's a very political morning. For example, Kwame Pianim says democracy is still an only option. Ibn Chambers is asking us to ensure a violence-free election. Yesterday, Kodio launched their plans for the election.
Yes.
And so you had a few people speak there.
Okay.
They said they will deploy 4,000 observers nationwide. Elizabeth Villas, on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, for example, is quoted as saying that the coalition of domestic election observers has announced plans to deploy 4,000 observers nationwide for the upcoming December 7 elections. According to co-chair Kodio, Mrs. Elizabeth Villas, the observers would monitor the conduct of the polls from the opening to voting, counting, and declaration of results at selected polling stations. He also said the observers would assist in gathering information on the conduct of the polls and help make the independent assessment of the process and outcomes.
Let me take you to the Supreme Court again on page 6 of the Daily Guide, where the Supreme Court has given Parliament 7 days within which to file a statement of defense in the suit challenging the passage of the Proper Human Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill, often referred to as the Anti-LGBTQ Bill. The court, presided over by a single judge, Justice Yao Da Kwansare, yesterday granted an application filed by lawyers for Parliament seeking permission to file a statement of case after failing to meet the timelines set out by the rules of court. The defense is in respect of the suit filed by broadcast journalist and legal practitioner Richard Delasky, challenging the passage of the bill, and also seeks to prevent the president from assenting to it to become law.
Then the last point is still on the politics. Joanna's fight EC over disqualification. Again, it's funny. I'm Memphis Central in the news for two reasons. Because whilst one of the removed MPs is from Memphis Central, of course, he went independent because he had sort of was unhappy with the way the primaries was organized. Now, Joanna Jan Kujo, NDC parliamentary nominee for Memphis Central, has gone to court to challenge the decision of the EC to disqualify her candidature. She is joined by the NDC as plaintiffs, and they together filed a writ to injunct the Electoral Commission from going ahead to print the notice of poll for the Memphis Central constituency for the December poll, and also going ahead to print the ballot papers for the same election. So a lot of court happening within the system.
Well, the NDC's future parliamentary candidate, according to the public press, is in trouble in a court in Winneba, as a plaintiff is alleging that Annan deceived and manipulated her into a romantic relationship, and she is seeking.
So there's a lot of
some
court issues. Now, let's move away from that. East Legon accident. Salif Makutu had granted, but we have the story already. The problem, though, is the issue with some journalists who were assaulted. The Chronicle, for example, has that story where it says that supporters of Elisha Salif Amako, founder and general overseer of Alive Chapel International, caused commotion and violent disturbance at the Accra Circuit Court on Wednesday, October 16. The altercation occurred as journalists attempted to report on a court hearing involving Elisha Salif Amako, who, along with two others, had been granted bail in connection with a fatal car crash involving his underage son. And then the details of the story are given. But following the hearings, tensions erupted when Elisha Salif Amako's supporters attempted to prevent journalists who had been accredited by the Judicial Service from covering the case. I mean, what is this? The supporters clashed with the members of the press, forcefully seizing a phone from GH1's legal correspondent Mutala Inusa, who was capturing video footage of whatever. Inusa sustained injuries whilst the buttons of his shirt were destroyed. A reporter from the Chronicle were also attacked while attempting to document the scene. So why? So the church is now like what? Football club with fans coming to court.
That's what the question I was going to ask.
What is this?
Are they Christians or they are hooligans?
I don't even understand. And this is not the first time.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
It's happened a lot of times. Yes,
it's just terrible.
In
Now,
line with
the
that,
matter has also been reported to the ministry's police station for further investigations. The attackers harassed the journalist from Chronicle, demanding to see her warrant for covering the court proceedings. They verbally assaulted Peace FM and UTV correspondent Philippa Ayim. Just say they were on rampage. Maybe the court should have added them to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
What are they even doing there? You know, so
because
the GJA has
a press call.
Yes, the GJA has
issued a statement,
a very strong statement saying
on
that,
this issue.
Yes, saying that they want some justice served. Now, in line with road crashes, let me read to you something quite interesting. If you go to myjournonline.com, the National Road Safety Authority has announced that it will be collaborating with the Ghana Police Service to deploy officers from the MTTD along with road safety inspectors on all major roads from November 1. According to the NRSA, this is to ensure reduction in crashes, injuries, and deaths, ensure compliance with road traffic regulations and road safety operational standards.
All right.
In a press statement released yesterday, the authority expressed deep worry over the rising incidence of road traffic crashes over the last few
Let me give you
weeks.
2 quick power sector, energy sector stories. Fuel prices have gone up again, and this is in the latest pricing window. And then we also have some turmoil within the power sector where VRA senior staff are demonstrating against the proposed merger bill before Parliament. So let me start with that. It says senior staff of the Volta River Authority yesterday stormed Parliament to demand the immediate withdrawal of bills proposing a merger between the VRA and the Blue Power Authority. The protest follows assurances from the Minister of State at the Energy Ministry, Herbert Crapper, that the government would no longer pursue the bills in Parliament. According to the staff, the proposed merger is a veiled attempt to privatize the assets of both VRA and the Blue Power Authority. Now, although the bills are yet to be officially laid, the staff insists they must be withdrawn. Now, there's another bill that seeks to join or moves to join the,
PRC and the Energy Commission.
Yeah, we haven't seen the same level of opposition to that, but VRA senior staff are not happy with this particular move. Then there's an increase in fuel prices. I'm trying to retrieve the story for you.
Okay, whilst you are looking for that story, I'll take you to page 26 of the Daily Graphic, where Ghana and China are committing to sustainable mining.
Really?
There's a photo of the new Chinese ambassador here. So the new Chinese ambassador to Ghana, Tong Defa, has pledged the commitment of China to work closely with the Ghanaian government to ensure responsible and sustainable exploitation of the country's mineral resources. Mr. Defa, the 17th Chinese ambassador to Ghana, observed that with the growing investment of Chinese companies, particularly in the gold mining sector, it was important for the two countries to work hand in hand to ensure a win-win situation while protecting the integrity of the environment. Now, he paid a critical on Samuel Jinapo at his office. Mr. Jinapo commended China for being a faithful partner to Ghana in terms of investments, particularly in the mining sector.
Now that you've brought China, I want to give you a story on China. But before that, fuel prices go up again. This is page 7 of the new publisher. It reads that more oil marketing companies have increased prices of petroleum products at their various service stations in the country. Allied Oil took the lead on October 16, selling a litre of petrol at 12.73 cedis, while diesel is going for 13.73. This represents a marginal increase compared to the prices quoted on October 1. They also then give details of prices for Shell and Goil and others who have slightly increased their prices as well. Now, Oriental China Mall, where you said that Kaswa Kola.
Yes, the Kaswa.
Well, Oriental China Mall opens in Kaswa, page 17 of Ghanaian Times. The president of the Northeast China General Chamber of Commerce in Ghana, Mr. Yang Li Kwan, has reiterated China's commitment to creating more jobs for Ghanaians through investment in different ventures. He said more Chinese companies operating in diverse sectors of the Ghanaian economy had employed more than 10,000 youth in the past few years. Mr. Li Kwan, who is the president of the Ghana Chinese Entrepreneurs Association, was speaking at the opening of the Oriental China Mall in Kaswa. So you said, and the China malls, what they do is that they sell things at wholesale price.
I'm yet to visit one.
You haven't visited any?
And I've never entered a China
According
mall.
to him, Chinese business in Ghana played a key role in poverty alleviation as they provided jobs to graduates through training and mentoring. And so basically the mall has been opened in Kaswa. He says, looking ahead, we will pursue win-to-win cooperation. I wanted to give you more details about the mall.
People should go and buy the paper.
Yeah.
Buy the Ghanaian Times. Well, let me tell you about Ronaldinho, who is visiting. You said we take a photo with him when he arrives.
Okay.
Yeah, Ronaldinho is the I think he's the most gifted player
he's the greatest footballer the world has ever seen.
Oh, based on what calculation?
I'll be taking that photo with him too. Meanwhile,
are you sure he even believes what you are saying?
Oh, of course. I can make that argument with anybody any day.
I think Maradona is the greatest player we've ever seen.
Okay, there's also that, but I think it's Ronaldinho. So Ghana is set to host a high-profile event aimed at promoting peace and unity ahead of the 2024 general elections. And now this is from an initiative dubbed OAD Peace Goals. And the founder, Bonaventure Aguisi, met the president. Quote, the tension these days is like in Africa, every time we have elections, there's tension.
So they come to play football to kick out the tension.
Yeah, so Barca legends, please, they should bring proper Barca legends.
We don't Barca B.
No, there are certain people.
But who are the Black Stars legends?
If they bring Weston Bogart as a Barca legend, I mean, we'll have problems.
Who are the Black Stars legends?
That one too.
We need to go inside. Anyway, guys, thank you. That was the newspaper review. Thank you, Godfred. Thank you, Bernard. Coming up next is the City Business News.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. And what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car? No, I not change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mindset be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside? I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small. Go. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Charlie, today the matter will catch me. I received urgent order from my online store. Customer wants 10 pieces sharp. But my wahala be delivery. Stress so me too. I no get order in weeks. So then I make slow. Charlie, I decide to deliver this thing myself. Quiet. I was willing to trust my small tired car like that. But boy, I no even leave my area where the whole place full of snow. Engine kaput, Pascal. Ask the boys they help me push the car off the road. Where I look up and raise my head. Where I see for Fidelity Bank billboard top. This too just be chapter. Ebefa mpa. Then Norma Vim come. Listen, I dog the sadness and find Okada fast. I deliver all the goods, collected my money, and even got referrals from this customer. Ebefa mpa. At Fidelity Bank, we believe you can achieve your dreams. Believe with us. Ebefa.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva Tangerine fruit drink, bursting with tangerine flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangerine. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055 00 32231. Piva, a taste you'd love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
7 on the dot. Coming up next is the City Business News, brought to us by Goyle. God is bringing you Super XP, which is the ideal choice for most vehicles. So as you journey on the road, look out for Goyle stations with the Super XP sign. Go fuel up your vehicle. Goyle, good energy, Goyle. Yeah. MTN is also bringing us the City Business News, and they're giving you the Yellow Base, which is a game changer for SMEs. What are you getting? A router, great Microsoft applications, WebWiz, and a Unicom service. Call 100 or 0244308111 to find out more, or visit mtn.com.gh/business. Remember, T's and C's apply. And the City Business News also brought to us by Access Bank. Access Bank, more than banking. Let's get the latest now. Shika Caesar is here with the details.
Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN Goyle and Access Bank. My name is Nashika Caesar. Coming up, Ghana's economy likely to take another hit as International Monetary Fund IMF warns of a possible global economic shock. Also coming up, Ghana's crude oil production records major decline, dropping from over 71 million barrels in 2019 to 48 million barrels in 2023. And later, total tax collection of mining companies to the economy increases by over 5 billion Ghana cedis last year compared to figures from 2022. This is according to the Ghana Chamber of Mines. We settle for the details of our stories now. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has issued a stark warning about the possibility of another global economic shock, which could have serious ramifications for economies around the world, including Ghana. The caution comes as the global economy is still grappling with the lasting effect of the COVID-19 pandemic and the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva, has been given curtain-raiser speech ahead of the 2024 IMF World Bank Group annual meetings, urging governments to implement robust fiscal policies to cushion their economies against potential shocks.
There is plenty we can and must do to lift our growth potential, reduce debt, and build a more resilient world economy. Let me start with actions domestically. Actions at home. Governments must work to reduce debt and rebuild buffers for the next shock, which will surely come and may come sooner than we expect. Budgets need to be consolidated credibly, yet gradually in most countries. This will involve difficult choices on how to raise revenues and make spending more efficient, while also making sure that policy actions are well explained to earn the trust of the people.
Kristalina Georgieva is Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund. Moving on, the total tax collection of mining companies to the economy of Ghana increased by over 5 billion Ghana cedis last year compared to figures from 2022. That's according to data from the Ghana Chamber of Mines, which says this remarkable figure highlights the vital role the mining sector plays in the nation's economy. Citi Business News' Daniel Sakite has more in this report.
The tax contribution from Ghana's mining and quarrying sector saw an impressive 81.1% surge in 2023, driving the state's revenue from 6.4 billion cedis in 2022 to over 11 billion cedis in just 1 year. This makes mining the largest domestic tax contributor, accounting for a remarkable 22.7% of all direct taxes. On top of that, mining companies paid out 139 million Ghana cedis in dividends, while total fiscal payments covering corporate tax, mineral royalties, among others, reached a little above 11 billion Ghana cedis. The sector's export revenues also saw a notable rise, increasing by 15%. From $6.8 billion in 2022, they surged to $7.8 billion in 2023. These mineral exports made up an outstanding 47% of the country's gross merchandise exports, outperforming traditional sectors like cocoa and crude oil. But the benefits go beyond the numbers. Producing members of the Ghana Chamber of Mines returned $4.2 billion to Ghana, representing a significant 71.3% of their total foreign earnings. This boost to the local economy came alongside $5.4 billion spent on local products, community support initiatives, and fiscal obligations. Furthermore, over $3 billion went towards locally sourced goods and services, while more than $31 million was invested in socio-economic development projects within mining communities, enhancing local livelihoods and infrastructure.
That report was put together by Citi Business News' Daniel Sakite. Now, Ghana's crude oil production has experienced a significant decline, plummeting from 71.44 million barrels in 2019 to just 48.25 million barrels in 2023. Analysts are attributing this downturn to a lack of robust technical and operational capabilities within the industry. In response to this alarming trend, key stakeholders convened a two-day technical consultative workshop where they issued a 9-point communique aimed at revitalizing the sector. This initiative calls on both public and private actors to adopt strategic measures to enhance efficiency and to drive growth. Here's Emerita Professor Elizabeth Adefiu Shandoff, chairperson of the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, sharing key highlights from the communique.
The first is enhance investment climate. There's need to review and update fiscal terms in petroleum agreements to make them more attractive to investors, and to develop transparent framework for licensing and regulatory compliance to build investor confidence. Secondly, there's need to promote infrastructure developments. Thirdly, strengthen collaboration with academia. Fourthly, address technical and operational challenges.
Emerita Professor Elizabeth Adefiu Shandov is the chairperson of the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC. Now, on the forex market today, the dollar is trading at 16 cedis 50 pesos. The British pound is selling at 21 cedis 40 pesos, and the euro could be sold to you at 18 cedis. And that's it for the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN Goil and Access Bank. My name is Nashika Caesar. Many thanks for spending your time with me. Do have a great business day.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
High grade family. I say, I'm fine.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio.
Friday night,
City
boys in against no achi. I say when you almost I want to abubu binade. Otumovu so mante. Yellow pata kesa humachi. Club it up when you're tossing a mosa yaba driver could feel rade. Rade begisti I know. Mame mabu. Mwado. Bele maloko.
7:10 on a Friday edition of the City Breakfast Show. We'll get into the City Business Edition. But before that, a few quick announcements. Switch to Telecel fixed broadband today and experience incredible bonuses, non-expiry bundles, data transfers across devices, and lots more. New customers get 50% bonus data in addition to the other mind-blowing offers, and existing customers receive 300% bonus data on every broadband renewal to keep browsing. So dial *900# or use the Telecel Play app, or visit a Telecel retail outlet, or go to telecel.com.gh and get connected today. Telecel, connecting energies. Now, if you are sending money to the Gambia, Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone, it's easy these days because there's the PAPS, Pan-African Payments and Settlement System. You can send and receive money from all these countries. All you need to do is visit any First Bank Ghana branch nationwide with your cash, and your money is transferred in no time. You can call 0596 921 921 to get more info on the PAPS. First Bank, you first. Are you a customer of Enterprise? If not, this is the best time to join, because Enterprise is rolling out the Enterprise Advantage Points. You get you get Advantage Points and start earning points for rewards like airtime, Momo, and more. And you can get all that by making purchases, renewing policies, and doing a lot more on the the self-service portal or the Enterprise Advantage app. So join the Enterprise family now, purchase a policy today and enjoy this exclusive offer. Enterprise Advantage points because nothing you do should be pointless. Enterprise is your advantage. Let's get into the City Business Edition. Today we are looking into a topic that reshapes global finance. We are talking about how individuals and families can secure residency or even citizenship in exchange for significant foreign investment. Now, what does this mean for investors and the economies involved? Stay tuned as we unpack the whole concept of investment migration, and we are looking at the benefits and risks if there are any. And it's all on the this morning's edition of the City Business Edition. Enjoy.
This is the City Breakfast Show.
Comprehensive and educative business show on radio. This is the City Business Edition. My name is Ni Latte. This morning I have two guests with me in studio coming to have a very insightful and interesting conversation. We are trying to broaden our horizon as far as investment and financial literacy is concerned. We are not talking about your local form of investment, but if you like, this is an investment that will allow us to cross borders. And my guests have years of experience in this space, trying to help a number of individuals pursue residency or, if you like, citizenship through investment, because it is increasingly becoming a go-to investment option for individuals who want to increase their asset base. My guests this morning are Troy Henley, Managing Director, Private Client at Henley & Partners, as well as Grace Arthur, who is also a consultant at that same investment company. Lady and gentlemen, welcome to the City Business Edition.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Troy. Good morning to you, Grace. It's one interesting conversation we're having this morning, because you get to hear a lot of people trying to go in for one form of investment or the other, both on the local scene and also on the international scene. That is investment migration. But for someone who is hearing investment migration for the very first time, for the purposes of education, I want to begin with you, Troy. When we say investment migration, what are we talking about and what are the options thereof?
Yes, so thanks again for having us this morning. It's good to be here. So investment migration is simply a wealthy family making a cross-border investment to another country to obtain their permanent status there, residence or citizenship. And with that, it's migration optionality. You can use that residence or citizenship for travel, or it can be used as a plan B, as an insurance policy. And in terms of the actual investments, the programs themselves, these are set by governments globally. They're created to attract foreign direct investment. Some examples would be real estate-based programs in the EU, where you buy real estate and in return you get a passport or residence. Another example would be in the UK, there is business-based investments where you can get residence of the UK. There's about 40 programs globally, and we work with the very best of those programs for our clients.
And so someone will just walk up to any country, invest money in there, and that person gets residency or citizenship. In turn, for various reasons, it can be education, it can be business, it can be leisure, it can be all forms of things. But you have been in this space for a very long time. I want to believe a decade and over.
That's true. Yes, too long.
So too long. So what has the uptake been like?
Yes, so the demand for what we do is gone through the roof. A number of different trends are pushing this. I think the main thing that we find is that there's a lot of millionaire migration. We track millionaire migration across the various different years, and it's spiking. There was a short lapse during COVID, obviously, less people could move country, but it's never been higher before. People seeking out better opportunities for their families, people looking to escape political volatility and risks. So we've been extremely busy.
Is it just about investment? Should people just be looking at investment migration as well, leaving my country to another country just because I have money? Explain to me more specifically, how is it in terms of a strategic tool for wealth management? How is this important in the scheme of things?
Yes, so that's actually a good point you raised there. It's actually not always about migration. So there's three main reasons people use our services to get a second residence, second passport. The first one is global mobility. So with a Ghanaian passport, it's a good travel document, but it's not a great one. Unfortunately, it's not visa-free to the UK, US, Canada, number of different countries. So if you obtain a second residence, a second passport to hold with your Ghanaian passport, then your travel ability can expand. For example, a Caribbean passport can allow you travel to 150 countries, including the UK and the EU. Number two, it can be about migration, or rather the option of having migration there if you want. So maybe your kids want to seek education and employment opportunities abroad. Maybe you want to retire somewhere. So it's about having that option. And thirdly, it's about a hedge, because there's a lot of volatility in the world, not least in Europe, in the Middle East, in the Pacific. West Africa also has its fair share of volatility socially, geopolitically. So it's about having a plan B should things go wrong. And I think together those three things are how people are protecting their families, their wealth.
I see. I like how you put it. It's a plan B if things should go wrong. But I'll come back to you for you to explain further on that particular aspect of the whole conversation. But let me come to you, Grace. I also know that you have been with Henley & Partners for a very long time. What do you do there?
So I have been with Henley & Partners for the last 1 year. However, I have been working in the financial services industry in Ghana in the last 20 years. And so in the areas of banking, insurance, and wealth management. And now I am managing high net worth individuals who are seeking to acquire alternative residency and citizenships. So what I do is to take them through the process by giving them options. I try to understand what their objectives are, their family objectives and their business objectives. And once they are able to decide on which one to proceed, I support them from start to finish to ensure that they achieve their objective.
Well, I like the expression high net worth individuals. Does it mean that investment migration is not for everyone?
So the question you asked Troy earlier about migration, you had a concern in there. I'm happy to say that our clients are very successful and highly established individuals, businessmen in Ghana who are not just looking for opportunities to leave Ghana, but they want to be able to take advantage of what is happening in the global space. And so these individuals are, affluent individuals. They are businessmen. They want to be able to have the world stage where they would travel freely without any restrictions. They want to be able to give the opportunity for their children to go to school, top university, top schools globally. They want to be able to travel with no restrictions. So these are individuals who have acquired some level of wealth, because we are talking of a minimum of about $200,000 investments.
I see. So which countries are we looking at? Is it that any country at all you may just go there for this form of investment, or there are specific countries that you have been dealing with?
So globally, there are about 40 programs available for high net worth individuals to choose from. And at Henley & Partners, we have all of these on our list. And so there are about 8 of them which are citizenship programs, and about the rest are residency programs. Now, the clients have the opportunity to choose between residency programs or citizenship programs. The difference is that residency programs are more of temporarily, and they give opportunity for the individual to live in a foreign land or another country, benefit from education, healthcare, and also business opportunities. So it's ideal for people who want to base themselves, their family members, and their businesses in another country, as against citizenship, which is more permanent, which is more lifelong, and it is also transferable to future generations. And once you are done with the process, as in when you are going through a citizenship program, you will definitely get a passport, and the passport will give you the mobility to be able to travel freely without seeking visas. And the number of destinations you can travel to without visas is determined by the passports.
I see. Just pick one of your success stories and share with us.
So I am happy anytime I'm asked about this question because increasingly the Ghanaian is opening up to investment migration. In the last 1 year, we've seen about 46% increase in uptake in inquiries. And so they are realizing the benefits. And that is why we are here talking about this. So a lot more we get to know about it. And so there's the opportunity for people to preserve their wealth by diversifying into other markets. Now, when you talk about diversification, mainly for the Ghanaian, what they see is diversifying across asset classes. But going through investment migration gives an opportunity for a Ghanaian investor to be able to diversify across regions, beyond Ghana, beyond the borders of Ghana. So, stating an example is a Ghanaian. This client that I engaged, he has his businesses here. His children live here, and he wanted to have access to the Europe markets. So what we did was to help him get residence in Europe. And so he got a residency card. He was able to invest in a real estate, which he was very happy about because he loved landed property. So it gives him the security, it gives him the returns that he's looking for. At the same time, it's also giving him a residency card, which is allowing him to travel throughout all the cities or all the countries in that region without seeking visas. Now again, if he wants his children to also go to school because his children were below 18 years, he was able to secure schools for his children in top universities in Europe.
You decide which option best fits a particular client. When a client comes to you, what do you look out for? And what will make you decide on what option is suitable for this particular client?
So the programs are many, either residency programs or citizenship programs.
Which you say the residency is more or less a temporary one, where the citizenship is more permanent.
And so what we do is to understand why the clients want to do this. So if the focus is about being able to travel freely, then it means a passport is required. And so we can talk of the Caribbean passports. There are about 5 programs from the Caribbean. And so we can assist the individual to get a Caribbean passport, which will allow him to travel to about 150 locations or destinations without seeking visas. Now, if it is also just about having access to strategic locations to be able to do business, to be able to base there so the children can go to school, then it means that a residence program will be required. So ultimately, what we do is to understand the clients, and we just align the investment to his lifestyle, his personal goals, family goals, and the overall, family long-term goals that they have.
You are still listening to the City Business Edition on 97.3 Citi FM. Today, we are coming your way with a conversation on investment migration. My guest, Grace Arthur, consultant at Henley and Partners, as well as Troy Henley, also managing director in charge of private clients at the same organization. So if you just tune in, we are talking about investment migration, the benefits enormous as has been outlined by my guest in studio. People are trying as much as possible to diversify their investment portfolios, and this time around crossing borders, looking at a number of countries they can go in there to invest either for residency or for citizenship. Back to you, Troy. And so if someone is investing as a form of investment migration, what are the areas? I heard Grace mention real estate. Aside from real estate, what are the other options that anyone can walk into a country?
Yes, so obviously it depends on the country and what their program offers, but real estate is one of the most common asset classes, investment funds, businesses, and sometimes it's just a simple donation. You pay a lump sum to a government, and that's all they want, that financial injection that you're giving the country.
Are you able to put a figure to this lump sum?
Of course. So again, yes, it varies on program, family size, quite a few factors, but in the Caribbean, the lump sum donation is around $200,000. It's a similar level for Portugal residents. It really does vary based on the country, but that's an indication.
Well, you talk about global mobility as one of the reasons for this kind of investment, but from your own estimation and what you've gathered over the years, what are the key trends driving this global mobility, and how do these trends influence the various investment decisions for these high net worth individuals you are talking about?
Yeah, good question. Okay, so I think there's two really interesting trends that I've noticed, or we have noticed. The first one is that a lot of the so-called developing countries where the passports are not so optimal to travel, these countries are recognizing the benefits of a second passport. So demand is going through the roof. The second thing, which it might come as a surprise to the listeners, is that our number one client group are Americans. And that seems a little strange. So this is not all about, African nations with bad passports and so forth. But we have a huge number of inquiries from Americans and British. And their view is that their governments are doing some things they're not comfortable with. They're being forced to seek insurance policies through second citizenships.
I see. So you cover a lot of these programs. You cover the Portugal Golden Residence Permit Program, the Greece, the Spain, the UK, the US EB5, the Canada, as well as the Caribbean that you have been talking about. But speak to me more specifically on this bit. Amongst these, which one is the most popular, especially for West Africans and in this context, Ghanaians? And if you are to provide an expert opinion, what would that be?
Mm-hmm. I think that the most common profile of our clients is what Grace mentioned earlier. It's someone who's based in Ghana. They have no intention of leaving, but they're a global person, a global family. They're a global businessman, so they need that travel ability. So they're looking at something like the Caribbean. I think the Caribbean passports in general would be the most popular. They're great travel documents. They're very affordable and they're very, very quick to get. So it's an easy fix. And once you have that passport, if you wake up and decide you need to be in London tomorrow for a meeting, you book a flight. You don't mess around with visas. You don't have all that hassle. So the Caribbean, then secondly, probably EU residences, because these are also travel documents. As Grace said, you can use an EU residence to travel the Schengen area, but that can qualify to a passport later. EU passports are tremendously strong, visa-free to Canada, US.
I see. That's a whole basket of, goodies. But let me revert to you, Grace. In terms of regulations, in terms of security, in terms of legal requirements or legal issues surrounding some of these things, if you had to paint a picture, what would that picture be?
And so legal requirements, what you mean is the legal requirements in here regarding these investments. So these are basic investments which are available here and also available elsewhere globally. So, for example, landed properties, real estate. It's allowed for Ghanaians to invest in landed properties locally, internationally. And so, yes, it's very much available to the Ghanaian. And for Ghanaians who are looking to diversify and expand into their real estate investment into other locations, this is an opportunity because there are a lot of benefits beside the security, beside the returns that they get. In addition, they are getting the other benefits we spoke about, which is the mobility, which is the healthcare and education. So yes, the legal framework around this allows the individual Ghanaian investors to acquire these investments globally.
And also, just for clarity's sake, with these kinds of, investments, are they permanent or they are subject to renewals? How many years are we talking about? Is there a tenure? Maybe explain further when it comes to the issues surrounding investments. We know that if it's a financial investment, we are talking about maybe the principal, the interest, and the tenure. But with investment migration, what are the rudiments surrounding it?
So these investments are determined by the host countries. And so, as Troy mentioned, there are some into real estate, others into fund, and some even come in the form of donation. And so if it's a donation to a country, then it's not refundable. However, if it is investment into a landed property, talking of the Caribbean, they expect that you invest over 5 years. So after 5 years, the individual have the opportunity to liquidate, or they also have the opportunity to continue because the property is in their name, so they can decide to continue or liquidate and have access to their funds. So it depends on which program. They all have let me say, tenor around it, period around it within which they have to hold the investment for.
Well, this is still 97.3 Citi FM. You are listening to the City Business Edition. Today we are talking about investment migration. My guests are from Haley and Partners. The company has, for the past 25 years, been a global leader in residence and citizenship planning, specializing in advising high net worth individuals and their families with gaining residence and or citizenship by assisting them to complete qualifying investment in their country of choice. It has also been a thriving government advisory practice in which they advise countries on assignments ranging from strategic consulting to assistance in the design and implementation of investment-related migration programs. This year, they are in Ghana with the Investment Migration West Africa Roadshow 2024. I know last year they were in Nigeria. And so, Troy, what informed your decision to come to Ghana this time around? Is it that a lot more Ghanaians are showing interest in investment migration? What this whole concept is about?
Yes, so I've been traveling to Ghana for maybe 5 or 6 years. Lucky enough to be visiting this beautiful country, and we have an office here on the back of such huge growth in client numbers. And the natural conclusion was to have a regular event that also includes our partners from overseas. So on Tuesday this week, we had these partners in the room speaking about their countries and program offerings to a select few group of high net worth investors and their professional advisors. So, usually we have very talented team members based here in Accra that can always meet these clients, but for the first time it's bringing these experts to the clients here in Accra, and I think it was a really special event for that reason.
In terms of participation, what did you see?
Probably I would guess that it's the largest event of its type in Ghana we've ever seen. There's been very small events in the past, small gatherings, but this one was well attended. There was a lot of very interested prospective clients, old clients, professional advisors. It was very interactive. We had a very nice lunch, which always helps. So yeah, all around it was greatly participated. Yeah,
I see. I'll just come back to you in terms of looking into the crystal ball. Where do we see ourselves from here in the next 5 to 10 years? Do we see a lot more? So maybe you can quantify it and then give us some numbers. So maybe you may want to think about it whilst I engage Grace on this particular last leg of the conversation. We are talking about creating lasting legacies for Ghanaian families as far as wealth preservation is concerned. If you are to tie it, why it should become an important element of any individual trying to create wealth for him or herself. Amongst all the portfolios that we have, why should the concept of investment migration be one of the key priorities for any high worth, net individual or family?
So investment migration has been one of the key areas worldwide for families and businessmen to secure their family's future. And so the Ghanaian is now waking up to all of these new trends. And for the Ghanaian, it's been in 3 main ways. My experience in the Ghanaian market, where the opportunities are, where the interests are in 3 main ways. First of all, is to be able to preserve the wealth that they have already created. So it's a lot of work here in our environment to create wealth. So once they do that, the high net worth individual want to be able to protect that. And they do that through diversification. And so investment migration gives them the opportunity to now diversify beyond Ghana. And yes, they go into stable markets like the North American markets, the Caribbean markets, Europe markets, and that's how they are taking advantage. The second way that they are creating legacies is in the area of education. We spoke about it. Now the Ghanaian is prioritizing education for their children. So they want their children to go to top universities, and investment migration does that for them. And so they are investing, and they are not only getting the mobility, but they are getting higher and international standard of education for their children. And that has a way of giving them some savings, because once the children go to school, they are not considered as international students. They are considered domestic students, and the parents make savings. The other way is the mobility that we have already mentioned. Now, we don't have to be restricted to the country where we are born into. Now, high net worth individuals in Ghana are looking for optionality. They want to be able to open the globe to their families, to their children, and that's why they show interest in investment migration. So it's a way that they build and secure their family's future with this great tool.
We may have been talking about the good sides of investment migration, but just as like any other investment, there are risks attached to it, and then people take up investment based on their risk aversion. And so perhaps educate us, what are the kinds of risk anyone would be facing if he or she goes into this kind of investment? I know there will be one or two, downsides to it, but with your experience and your expertise, you help, individuals who have shown interest in some of these investments to manage these risks.
So I must say that in everything, there's some level of risk that come with it. And when it comes to investment migration, we must note that the governments, various sovereign states, are in charge of the programs, and so they determine what kind of financial requirements that investors must bring in to have the status of residency or citizenships. They actually hold dear these programs because it helps them to raise foreign direct investment. So they do well to protect the reputation of these programs. Again, at Henley and Partners, we're also very much concerned about our clients, and so we go the extra mile to also do our due diligence on all of these programs, even before we offer to our clients. So these investments range from landed property, and over here, landed, it's secure. You see it, you feel it, your name is on it, and so I must say that is, in terms of the risk, is minimal. And then the other investments, like other funds, even that we have extensively done our due diligence to ensure that these funds performed in the future, and the projections for it into the future, they've performed in the past, and projections for it into the future are looking great, and that's what we do at Henley & Partners.
I see. We are wrapping up, but I just want us to conduct a very quick exercise. Earlier when you mentioned the residency and the citizenship, I'm just wondering, for anyone who will want to go in for either of the options, what are the advantages and disadvantages with each of the options, if you are able to explain that to me?
I would not necessarily say the advantages and disadvantages. I would rather say it depends on what the objectives are.
For that individual.
Of that individual. His personal lifestyle, so more of like, his objective, and the
preference.
Exactly. Because they are all good programs. And so a client who is looking to just base himself in a country, in a strategic location, have access to healthcare, education, business opportunities. Ultimately, having access to residence program from that country is enough, as against someone who is looking to travel globally without restrictions. Because data shows that there are 49% of Ghanaians who are refused for Schengen visas. And you would find that there are very important people, businessmen, who have to travel for conferences, for business transactions, are in that list. And they are very frustrated. So for such a person, he would want to acquire a passport that will allow him to travel freely without some of these restrictions. And they are not just looking out for themselves, they also look out for their children and their family members, because the restrictions they face, they do not want their children to also face.
I see. Well, Troy, let me come to you. I told you that I was coming to you for some figures. I don't know if you have it now, but be as it may, maybe just quickly, what would be your advice for anyone interested in, investment migration, especially a first-time investor, what would be your advice and what should that person be looking out for? And then I'll come to Grace for her to tell us about how anyone can begin this journey.
So there's a few things that come to mind. I guess first, be very clear about what your motivations are, what you want to do. If you are that businessman who wants global access for your business activity, be very clear on the countries you want access to. If you want to set your kids up for education, then think about the countries they'll need access to as well. So have that clear picture in mind, first of all. And then I think the next most important thing is talk to a reputable firm, because there's many firms out there, and the reputable firms will take you very seriously, understand your profile, find a solution for you that fits you, not one that they want to push on you. You know, there's a difference. And a firm that really has a reputation to look after. So we're a very large firm. We've been around for 25 years. We have our headquarters in London, across the road from King Charles. We can look into his garden from our windows. And we have a physical office here in Accra. So we're a very serious firm. We're not here to rip off or mess around clients. A firm like us is going to look after you.
A firm like yours is what anyone should look up to.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes, exactly.
back to Grace. How does anyone begin this journey with a firm like yours?
Yeah. So I want to state that access to the world's economic output is very important to the Ghanaian investor. And so we are just welcoming all investors in Ghana, businessmen in Ghana, high net worth individuals in Ghana. They can go to our website www.henleyglobal.com or ghana@henleyglobal.com. Alternatively, they can call me on 020-222-0496. The process is very simple. I am ready to meet with clients either in their office or in our office at Mevenpick on the 9th floor. We can have a Zoom conversation, whichever way is convenient for the client, being it in person or virtually. We can have that conversation, and I'm ready to assist them, take them through the process, give them the options so they can choose.
All right, so this has been our conversation on investment migration. Troy Henley, Managing Director, Private Client at Henley & Partners, as well as Grace Arthur, a consultant at Henley & Partners, talking about investment migration. In fact, there has been a conversation where we have been discussing how individuals can increase their assets, diversify their investment portfolios for global mobility, for education purposes, for business education, through securing residency or citizenship. And so this has been part of the City Business Edition on 97.3 Citi FM. Thank you so much, Grace and Troy. My name is Neil Atilati. Thank you for tuning in. Do stay tuned in. This is Citi 97.3 FM. Goodbye.
I get my new car. Please wait. I find my real size. I'm gonna get me some.
The city's biggest conversation.
Anymore, pop quiz. Are you ready?
Hit me.
Can you give me 3 words that start with omni?
Oh, that's easy. Omnibus, omnipotent, omnibus. The bank with a really nice signboard.
Hey, Radzi, you mean omnibisic. OMNIBSIC. Omnibisic. Let me hear you say it.
Omnibisic.
Perfect.
Is that an abbreviation?
Not entirely. And it's not just a bank with nice signboards either. Omnibisic Bank is Ghana's fastest growing bank with innovative banking products and headquarters in Atlantic Tower at Airport City, Accra, as well as 40 branches across the country. Omnibisic Bank has the final word on excellent customer service delivery in Ghana.
Plus, they have the coolest signboard.
Yes, they do. And the coolest name, Omnibisic.
At your service.
Charlie, this year's elections, I am really confused. I don't know who to vote for.
Why don't you know who to vote for? Let's listen to one policy JDM says he's going to implement when he's voted.
I think so NDC ban. You be bien Juman kitten. My person branch executive na di omo be gym. Say akuko na person share poultry farm ketu ebi near mao akuko bono near ton kuko na mao near mao eduane a wo de beto eduane ama sika wo de beto eduane ama.
But why are you laughing? My guy, relax. So this is the reason he wants us to vote for him? Oh, the man hasn't changed one bit. Same old dead goat. Now let's listen to one of the many policies Dr. Bawumia has for the youth.
Jobs would be my major focus. Now, me be training 1 million youth in digital skills.
And see, that's not all. Apart from that, he's going to set up SME Bank to enable SMEs expand, to create jobs for the youth, and also increase demand with the buy now, pay small policy, which is the credit scoring system.
Oh, really?
That's not all, oh. Let me give you the last one. He says he's going to introduce Buy Ghana First policy to boost local businesses to help them expand and employ more youth.
Wow. Now, I know who I'm voting for come December 7th. Dr. Bawumia, you have my vote.
Yes, so these are but a few of DMB's bold solutions for the youth when he's voted into power come December 7th. I've changed my mind. I'm not voting for JDM anymore. I'll vote for the bold solutions man, Dr. Bawumia. Great decision, my brother. This year, Dr. Bawumia's vote, yem fan cheche. And vote Dr. Bawumia, number 1 on the ballot.
Christmas is in the air, and it all starts at Electroma. Get amazing gift vouchers with 5,000 Ghana cedis, plus incredible discount of up to 60% on all your favorite electronics, from smart TVs to washing machines, refrigerators, mobiles, laptops, and more. Get the best deals on all big brands like LG, Brew, Samsung, Panasonic, Sony, Philips, Orient, Infinix, Tecno, Xiaomi, and many more. Call or WhatsApp us on 0552 777 905. Celebrate Christmas full with goodies only at Electromat, your world of electronics.
Gasaba. Smoke from firewood and charcoal is harmful and as damaging to our lungs as cigarettes. It can cause heart diseases leading to stroke and may even affect our eyesight in the long run. Grandmothers, mothers, sisters, wives, men, caterers, and everyone still cooking with charcoal, let's switch to LPG gas. The National Petroleum Authority has introduced the cylinder recirculation model in collaboration with local partners to make gas more accessible in all local communities. Whether you own a cylinder or not, join our CRM initiative. Simply show up at any exchange point near you with a small down payment to receive a filled cylinder or swap your empty one. Regular safety checks will be in place. Say ebisa musemo or gas. Afeidie gasaba. Switch from firewood and charcoal to gas for a better and healthier life. This message is brought to you by the National Petroleum Authority and the Ministry of Energy.
There's no price like the ShopRite price. That's why we are committed to bringing you lower prices on all the essentials you need. Like 500 grams Daphnis cornflakes, only 44 cedis, 99 pesos worth, and 340 gram chicken frank sausage for just 18 cedis, 99 pesos each. Never pay more than the ShopRite price. Prices valid until 20th October 2024, only at ShopRite.
Hey, Auntie Essie and her replica. Long time. How may I help you?
Auntie Amma, our course has gained admission to the university, but the money to pay for her fees is my headache now. Where am I going to get 2,500 cedis in this Ghana? Where?
Essie, stop that. You don't have to stress about the fees. Hey, keep your cloth. John Mahama and the NDC say when they come to power, all first-year students in all public universities, technical universities, college of education, and nursing training will pay no academic fees. The first year is free.
Hey! This is the best news I've heard this year. Wow!
See, that is not all. Listen! JDM says continuing students can apply and access a student loan plus, which is higher than the normal student loan, to support the payment of their fees. So when a course goes to second year, she will have access to the student loan plus to continue her education.
Wow! God bless you, JDM.
What is so heartwarming? It's a free tertiary education for our brothers and sisters who are physically challenged.
JDM, God bless the stomach that gave birth to you.
Vote for change. Vote for John Dramani Mahama and the NDC.
All right. This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Hello and welcome to Friday's edition of Kickoff. I am Bernard Abeku. We are proudly powered by Shell, Leshell, Zonda GH, and Polytank Ghana. Papa Nunye. Coming up in the next 5 minutes, Ghana's Black Satellite starts the WAFU Zone B qualifiers with a 2-2 draw against Benin in the opening game. We have some reactions from the Black Stars head coach Otoado, reflecting on a number of things after Ghana's failure to beat Sudan in the AFCON qualifiers. And we build up to matches coming up in the greatest league on planet Earth, the English Premier League. Let's get into the details now. And Black Stars head coach Otoado has acknowledged that Ghana was fortunate to secure qualification for the 2022 FIFA World Cup at the expense of Nigeria. He made this statement during an interview following Ghana's 2-0 defeat to Sudan in the 2025 AFCON qualifiers held in Libya. The loss limits Ghana's chances of qualifying for the 2025 AFCON in Morocco.
In all, I think if we look at the last years, since not qualified for the World Cup 18, we've been struggling as a country for a long time. We were lucky to qualify in 2022 with me. CK, I could not do his work before. Milo also, I want to mention because they are also part of this, not only me. And we qualified for 2022 World Cup. And I hope and I think everybody who knows something about football has been there at our home games when we played against Nigeria, the home games when we played Angola, or even now in Accra, Sudan, knows that the players, they have it. If we stick to our strength and are consistently with thinking about how we can bring our strength, and this is to play good football. We have the players which can play good football, and combine it with our passion, then we can go forward.
Meanwhile, the Black Stars head coach indicates it is shameful that Ghana lost to Angola and Sudan.
We have a lot of things to learn. I think in general, it's a good experience. You know, I know it's very, very bad because we as Black Stars we represent the Ghanaian society, the Ghanaian people, and it's really shameful that we didn't, at least win our home games to get in a good situation for our away games, and we have to do better. But surely we have to learn, and it's very, very painful. But surely we can use this to learn out of our mistakes. I think if you get this experience, and it's not only about getting experience, but also to take the right conclusions of this experience and to reflect on the right points from this experience, and to be self-critical. And I'm starting with myself. Then. And if every player does this, then we'll be on our way forward.
Away from the Black Stars, of course, you heard from the Black Stars head coach Otoado. Away from the Black Stars to Benin, and Ghana's Black Satellites were held to a draw in the opening game of the WAFU B Cup of Nations Championship. Forward Jerry Afriye scored twice as Desmond Ofe's side salvaged a 2-2 stalemate against Benin in Lomé. The result on the opening day means none of the teams in Group A picked up 3 points as host Togo, and Niger also played out a 2-2 draw earlier in the day. Ghana's next game is against Niger on Sunday, October 20. Now, let's talk about the MTN FA Cup. Now, Wafa Sporting Club will face Great Olympics in the preliminary round of games for the 2024 FA Cup. The draw for the first round of games was held at the Ghana Football Association's Secretariat on Thursday. The prelims of the 2024-2025 FA Cup will be played between October 25 to 28, while the competition resumes on November 29 for the round of 64. Now, we move to the greatest league on planet Earth, the English Premier League. Week 8 is here, and early kickoff is at 11:30 a.m. where Tottenham Hotspur take on West Ham United. Well, later for the 2 p.m. batch of matches is Fulham up against Aston Villa, Ipswich up against Everton, Manchester United versus Brentford, Newcastle United up against Brighton. Southampton versus Leicester City. Bournemouth take on Arsenal at the Vitality Stadium at 4:30 p.m. On Sunday at 1 p.m. it's Wolves who face Manchester City at the Molineux. And of course at 3:30 p.m. it's Liverpool up against Chelsea at Anfield. Oh, know that there's more build-up later on 5 p.m. I'll say it at 5 p.m. when Sports Flash comes your way. That's your sports. For more sports stories, log on to citysportsonline.com. On X, we are at City Sports Gene HA. Thanks to Shell, Lesheho, Zonda GH, and Polytank Ghana, Papa Nunye. I am Bernard Abeku. Sport is life. Get involved.
Hey, well, yo, I did tire for Abu Chef. See, everything I do, Abu won't do some. Last year, I bought a cattle farm in Yanton. I see he go buy a farm next to mine. I marry Fauzia. No, he marries Fauzia's sister. I buy my motorbike. I see, no, he go buy motorbike too.
Hey, but you don't see, say, since you buy your bike, he has bought 4 motorbikes, which have all broken down. You know they maintain bikes at all.
His problem be say he dey put wrong lubricant for his bike inside. The correct motorbike oil where if you put inside be Shell Advanced Lubricant. Shell Advanced Lubricant be the only motorbike oil where they make them for motorbike to protect engine, clutch and brake. Where no. Wait me, wallahi, I no go tell him. Shell. Hey, well, but wait, where you dey go?
If you don't go tell Abu, me I go tell him say make you use Shell Advanced Lubricant for him bike.
Hey,
visit any Shell station or distributor today to get your Shell Advanced Lubricant for your motorbike. Shell Advance, complete protection for your bike.
Guys, Charlie, you know that mining contract I've been chasing for years. I just got awarded the deal. But the issue is where to get the right and quality heavy duty trucks to execute this job here.
a business, and a Telecel business customer. Visit telecel.com.gh/business to register now.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Fellow countrymen and women, the desperate NPP, realizing that they are losing the 2024 elections, has once again resorted to lies to smear the nation builder, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The NPP's claim that Mahama was against free SHS and will cancel it when elected is nothing but a barefaced lie calculated to deceive you. John Mahama started the implementation of the progressively free SHS program in 2015 with day students and had a clear plan to expand the program to cover borders, hence cannot be said to be against free SHS. What he has been against is the poor implementation of the program. Contrary to the lies of the NPP, the next NDC Mahama government will improve the implementation of the free SHS program to make it better. We will do this by scrapping the double-track system, provide a dedicated source of funding for the program, include private SHS, improve the feeding of our children, and enhance the quality of learning outcomes. Listen to the truth from the horse's own mouth.
Free senior high school education has come to stay. If anybody tells you that I, John Dramani Mahama, son of E.A. Mahama, will abolish free SHS when I come, tell the person he's a bloody liar. What I'm against is the poor implementation of the free SHS, which is creating great inconvenience for the parents, for the students, and for the teachers. And one of the things we'll do when we come back into office, and I know inshallah we're coming back into office, is to complete the 200 community day schools that we began, so that we can bring a quick end to the double-track system.
Beware of the NPP's lies. Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Beyond every boardroom is a story waiting to be written. A story of a business and its potential, of a community that thrives, a hospital that serves, and energy that powers millions of dreams. It's a story that only gets better with a partner that has the expertise and solutions to make it a reality. At Absa Corporate and Investment Banking, we are invested in your story, and we invite you to write it with us because your story matters. Absa. Authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Wow, I just love jet fighters.
Sis, I think you should join the combat unit of the Ghana Armed Forces.
Me? I don't know how to do busha busha.
There's so much more to it than that.
But seriously, what will I be doing in the combat unit?
You can be a rescue helicopter pilot, captain warships, be a sniper, lead troops during peacekeeping, so much more.
Do you think I have what it takes?
Yes, girl. I know you have what it takes.
Ladies, consider a career in the combat unit of the Ghana Armed Forces and help keep the world in order. Visit govonline.mil.gh today for details. This is a Ghana Armed Forces initiative supported by the Women, Youth, Peace and Security Institute of the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center and sponsored by the ELSI Initiative Fund.
A message from the National Commission for Civic Education, NCCE.
There's no price like the ShopRite price. That's why we are committed to bringing you lower prices on all the essentials you need. Like 1 liter pure joy juice, all variants, only 39 cedis, 99 pesos each, and 250 gram Daphnis penne, spaghetti or elbow pasta for just 4 cedis, 49 pesos each. Never pay more than the ShopRite price. Prices valid until 20th October, only at ShopRite.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Live on your dial 97.3 FM. My name is Nathan Kwa. I'm sitting in for Bernard, who's right across.
You're sitting in for the one who's sitting out.
Earlier you had Kickoff, read by Bernard Abekochi. Kickoff was brought to us by Zonda. Zonda Ghana Limited is your one-stop shop for quality trucks like Shantui bulldozers, excavators, graders, payloaders, oil tanks, all made and assembled right here in Ghana. So visit Zonda Ghana today. They've got 7 branches across the country. You can also go to their head office off the Tema Plow Road, close to the Free Zones Enclave. Call them on 0501773333.
Wrote a little poem, but I didn't want to show it.
Zonda built in Ghana, Zonda building Ghana. Polytank also brought to us. Kickoff. When it comes to water storage, there's only one name. It's Polytank. 30 years of experience, trusted by several generations. It's the first, the best, and certainly the original. So when you think of storing water, make no mistakes. Choose Polytank. Polytank near Papa Nunier.
Branches of our tree. Give you everything you'll ever need. The best of me is yet to come. Do you agree?
Music in the background from Craig David, off his very recent album called 22. It's actually my favorite song of the album, because what more could I ask for, featuring rapper Wretch 32.
Speaking of what more you could ask for, if you're a female entrepreneur, what more could you ask for than an ABSA-powered MasterCard Foundation supported loan, 10% interest per annum? Now you can get up to 1 million cedis completely collateral free, and this isn't just talk. We've already given out over 600 million cedis to over 1,600 businesses within the past year, and we're especially proud that 67% of our beneficiaries are women-owned enterprises. So go to the nearest SME project office for ABSA or absa.com.gh for more information. And imagine the unexpected happening to you and your family, leaving behind loved ones, spouse, and family members you cherish most. Death is inevitable. When it occurs, will your loved ones be protected? SNIT comes in to protect them if you are a contributor to the scheme. The SNIT scheme has an inbuilt life policy that pays your loved ones a lump sum when you are no more. Survivors benefit is also available. With SNIT, members are rest assured that in the unfortunate event that they pass on, their nominated dependent will be paid a lump sum by the scheme. So contact SNIT on 0302 611 622 or our socials at SNIT Ghana. And grab a Lucozade. It's new look, same great energy, great tasting. 330 ml can is available. It's slimmer, sleeker, but still the great taste of Lucozade to restore your energy.
The list is ongoing. Wrote a little poem, but I didn't want to show it.
And don't forget, you can launch your career, start your own business, or embark on advanced studies within 6 months of graduation if you pass through the Ashesi experience. From Accra to Nairobi, from London to New York, from wherever to wherever, Ashesi graduates are noticed and they are leading successful careers. Now, regardless of what they choose to study, an Ashesi education gives you a strong foundation for life. So visit ashesi.edu.g-h to learn more about the Ashesi advantage.
Appreciate every day that I'm part of your life. Your life. The style is shining, vibrant, different.
A few birthdays are coming through. 18th October. Happy birthday to my amazing dad, MacDonald Nyako Ankra, aka Elder Nyako, from his wife Deaconess Ruth Nyako, and the kids Anastasia, Vicentia, and Alberta. This one says, help me wish my longtime buddy and big sis Kate Birchie Arthur a belated birthday. Cheers to many more beautiful shared memories, sis. That's coming from Fatima of Kamshi Sense and beyond.
A happy birthday to our good friend Senyo Kosi Hosi, aka Kosi Honyo. Today, former CEO of the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors. Now,
aka Putin.
Now just a big man. Now his wife is Mrs. Putin. But he's called Kosi Honyo. As named
by Katie. So how?
Yesterday I was watching the news when Apenyo Making was speaking to the press after they walked out. Mm-hmm. And then when he was speaking, you could see the NDC in the background on the floor. And then Katie Amon heard the NDC put and said, hey, NDC, oh God. he was standing next to Apenyo Makin addressing the media, but he couldn't help himself. When the NDC guys were shouting, they said, hey, NDC, and then somebody said, no, he should keep quiet. He
has to take it easy.
So happy birthday to Kosi Honyo. Kosi Honyo.
Happy birthday to you. A few more. This one. Happy birthday to our father, Mr. JB Atanga Asumbere of Zwarungu in the Bolga. He works at the Dr. Amea Hospital. You are our father and our best friend, and we love and cherish you. From Haga Teni Atanga. This one is from Simon, Simon is the husband of Rafina Akwabwa Boating, who's with the International Programs Office of the University of Ghana. He says, thank you for all the love and affection we've shared over the decades. So Simon is wishing his wife a happy birthday. Kindly help us. Okay, this one is a different one. We'll get to it later.
No, there are a lot of things. Okay, to be fair, I can answer that quickly. So the person wants to know the new academic year and when it opens. So this dawn, I got a notification from somebody in the GES who shared the new academic calendar and the reopening dates. So maybe I want to just read that for you quickly. So what was the question, by the way?
I think the question had to do with them. So kindly help us understand the current situation in our secondary schools regarding the start of the new academic year for first years who are to progress to second year just 30 days after academic.
Let me just read it quickly. So
one.
GES issued this circular to all regional directors of education titled 2024-25 academic year for basic and secondary schools. Management of the Ghana Education Service wishes to inform heads of basic and senior high schools of the 2024-25 academic year. The academic year begins Wednesday, 30th October for all senior high schools. Please note that the current first year students in transitional calendar schools will end their 2023-24 academic year Monday, 28th October, and will be promoted to Form 2 to continue with the new academic year immediately. So no vacation. So they vacate or they finish 28th October and 30th October.
They go to Form 2.
Incoming first year students for single track and transitional schools. So we have single track, transitional, and double track. Transitional are so double track is full track double. Transitional is moving from double to single. So first year incoming students for single and transitional schools will also begin school on Wednesday, 30th October. Additionally, all continuing students in single track schools reopen for the new academic year on the same Wednesday, 30th October. This reopening date aims to ensure that the academic calendar starts in September next year and pave way for our final year students to write the 25-26 WASI in May-June. So this change is to allow for next year for an alignment
with the rest of the sub-region.
Attached is the 24-25 academic calendar for basic and senior high schools. By a copy of this letter, the regional directors are directed to communicate to all heads of schools to ensure full implementation. Now, then the calendar is then given. All right, this is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
So, why is my phone doing this to me?
Lock it.
I don't know how to do lock it for me. I'm trying to turn it. I'm trying to turn the thing, but it's not turning. Okay, so let me move to the I wanted to do landscape, but when I turn it,
I guess it's you've locked it.
I don't even know how that works. I'm old. I'm old. So mercy on atonement. So now, oh Lord. So let's start from here. 24 transitional. So let me start from Form 1. Form 1. Transitional academic calendar, Form 1. 30th October 2024 for Form 1. All right. Then you have 26th May 2025 is the beginning of the next term. And then 31st August 2025. So those are the 3 key dates for Form 1, right? 30th October. So they'll go to school on 30th October. And then, okay, there are 2 columns here. 7th February. So I don't know whether that is the second term or what, but then they have a break on 8th February. So they'll go to school from 30th October to 7th February. Then they'll break on the 8th of February.
Okay.
All right. Or they say break or out of school, 8th February.
Okay.
Then there's 25th May. I don't know whether that's when they resume.
Could be.
All right. Now, then you have the second group. They come back, they reopen on 25th May, and they go to 25th July, and they break on the 26th. And then they reopen on 30th August. Okay. Then they resume on 31st August, and then they go all the way to 17th October to end the academic year. So let me go through this again. Form 1s will go to school 30th October till 7th February. Then they will go on break from 8th February to 25th May. Then they will come back to school on the 26th of May. Do you understand? So which means that the whole of March and April they'll be home till 25th May. Come back to school on 26th May and go to school till 25th July. So the whole of June, almost the whole of July. Then they break on 26th July and they'll be home till 30th August. Making sense? Okay. Then they resume their third term on 31st August. And then they'll go on till 17th October. So Form 1 kids, their academic year ends 17th October next year. Which is basically a day, yesterday's. So Form 1, do you get your calendar? Form 2 is a different calendar, so I have to read that separately. And Form 3 is also something else. But this is Form 1. So if you go to school 30th October, Form 1s go to school till 7th February. They vacate till May, resume end of May till July. They vacate and come back in August and go to October. Form 2s will go to school on 30th October.
Okay.
All right. But they will vacate on 5th December. Unlike the Form 1s who vacate on 7th February.
Okay.
All right. So they will go on 5th. And then their vacation is from 6th December to 9th February. Okay. Right? When they come back to second term, 10th February, they go to 23rd May. Okay. Right? And then they break on 24th May till 27th July.
Okay.
Good. Then they resume on 28th July and they go on till the same 17th October. So the alignment is achieved at the end, where they all vacate on 17th October. So end of academic year next year, 17th October for Form 2s as well. Let me just do Form 3, then I'll take you out of your misery. Now, Form 3s are reopening they are in school from 3rd January. So they will go to school 3rd January till 16th April. Then they will break from 17th April to 22nd April, very few. Short days.
Preparing for exams.
Yes. Then they will come back on 23rd April and be in school to 29th August. Write their exam and end the academic year. So theirs is much shorter because they're already in school. So we'll publish this on our website for those who want to know. But basically, academic year starts Form 1s and Form 2s 30th October, which is basically next 2 weeks Wednesday.
Okay. So Harry, is it clear to you now?
I hope it is. It's not easy. You need a PhD to understand this. Because this even depends whether you are a transitional or double track. Because double tracks are different. For double track, I don't even want to start. Because what I read for you is this transitional academic calendar. There's also the single track school, and there's a double track one. But I don't want to go into. It's too complicated. So we'll just put everything on.
So will all of them be
they will all end. You see,
next year?
The truth is that by the time they finish everything next year, we all align. That's what they are trying to say.
That's the
so everybody has a different.
After next year, there will no longer be a 3-tier calendar.
I'm not sure. It's for maybe the transitional, but the double, I'm not sure of the double. For transitional, they would have transitioned to the single, but the double, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So call Zoe. Zoe is the city correspondent to GS.
She understands this calendar best.
Zoe explained it.
Yeah, Zoe,
listeners, we've put this, we are publishing this on our website. The calendar is there, so I'm sure you can get it and then you can understand it. If we need to explain, we'll probably call somebody later. But today we're focused on other things.
Yes. We'll be going to Parliament in a bit. Big things happened there yesterday. We'll try and unpack the issues and, so we are all on the same page, so we understand what's happening. But a few quick announcements. Lakeside exclusive or Lakeside Estate exclusive retirement homes are here. You want to live a fulfilled life, you've worked hard, you want to relax in peace and tranquility. Go to Lakeside. They have 2 and 3 and 4 bedroom homes built in places with lovely facilities. They've got the biggest water park, pharmacies, malls, children's play area, all of that. Call them on 050-141-8622. And remember that Lakeside Estate is your real estate company of the year, awarded by the CIMG. Lakeside Hills, live your best life. And if you want to get a British degree at a fraction of the cost, that's what Lancaster University Ghana is offering. You'll be taught by the finest faculty, trained to UK standards, and you walk away with great skills that will get you employed. Call them on 020-960-7008 or send them an email at admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster University Ghana is the only British uni campus in West Africa. You want to retire on your own terms, you want to enjoy a monthly income in those golden years, simply invest a lump sum into the Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan today and start receiving monthly income to enjoy the perfect retirement. Get in touch with Old Mutual 050-453-4333 or visit their website oldmutual.com.gh. Old Mutual do great things every day. And if you need funds for that major project, Zenith Bank has got you covered. They'll give you a loan of up to 250,000 cedis. Open a Zenith salary account today and have access to a loan of up to 250k. Achieve your financial goals with Zenith Bank. Visit any of their branches to open an account today and get great service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. So yesterday, or this morning, if you followed the newspaper review, you'd have seen a lot of stories concerning Speaker and the House and the new dynamic in terms of Parliament or the new architecture. And it all comes from the Speaker of Parliament. Yesterday, he approved a motion that called for 4 members to vacate their seats. The motion was filed by former Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu, and he argued that the MPs who were seeking to contest the upcoming December elections as independent candidates needed to relinquish their parliamentary positions as outlined in the Constitution's provisions governing parliamentary membership. The 4 MPs in question, Cynthia Morrison, Agona West, Kojo Asante Suhum, Andrew Esiama Fomena, and Peter Kwache Akwa Amenfi Central. So let's hear from the Right Honourable Speaker Alban Badman speaking on the floor of Parliament yesterday.
In 2020, during the tenure of Right Honourable Professor Aaron Michael Quay as Speaker of Parliament, a notable instance occurred when the New Patriotic Party notified the Speaker that the Member of Parliament for Formina, Honourable Andrews Asiema Amwako, was no longer a member of the party. The MPP requested that the seat be declared vacant in accordance with Article 97(1) of the Constitution, citing that the Member of Parliament had filed to contest the upcoming elections as an independent candidate, which violated the party's constitution. In response to this request and notification, Right Honourable Professor Aaron Michael Quay proceeded to declare the seat vacant. However, I must emphasize that this ruling made by the previous speaker does not bind other speakers, including myself. It is important to point out that in the present matter before the House, the notice of poll is available at the Electoral Commission on all the 275 constituencies. I have duly taken note of the notice of the poll, and furthermore, no member in making comments to the statement made to the House by the minority leader denies these glaring and notorious facts. And so, what is my role in all this? Honorable members, it is important to point out that the Speaker is called upon by the standing orders of Parliament, particularly Order 18, to inform the House of the occurrence of a vacancy of the seat of a member under Clause 1B to E, G, and H of Article 97 of the Constitution. Accordingly, I proceed to inform the House that by the notification of the polls, the following members of Parliament have by their actions vacated their seats in Parliament. The members are Honorable Peter Yao Kwache Aka, NDC MP for Amenfi Central in the Western Region, now referred to as an independent parliamentary candidate for the same constituency. 2, Honorable Andrew Amwako Asiama, independent member for Fomna constituency in Ashanti Region, now referred to as MPP parliamentary candidate for the constituency. 3, Honorable Kojo Asante, MPP MP for Suhum in the Eastern Region, now referred to as independent candidate for the same constituency. And finally, Honorable Cynthia Mamile Morrison, MPP MP for Aguna West constituency in the Central Region, now referred to as independent candidate for the same constituency. These MPs cannot be allowed by law and my good self to continue to pretend to be representing people that they don't believe in and they don't have any loyalty for in this House any longer. The House is accordingly so informed. Honorable members, I thank you for your patience and attention.
So that was the Honorable, the Right Honorable Speaker Alban Badin, Speaker of Parliament.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was Speaker Babin.
Okay, yeah. So that was Alban Badin, Speaker of Parliament, detailing his ruling and giving the basis on which he made the ruling. But some reactions will obviously follow, and we got reactions. The majority in Parliament has announced its decision to boycott parliamentary proceedings until the Supreme Court ruled on its challenging the minority's petition to declare 4 seats vacant. Now, this comes after the Speaker ruled in favor of the minority, declaring that the seats were vacant because MPs from Amenfi Central, Aguna West, and Suhum decided to run as independent candidates in the December election. So let's hear from Alexander Apenyomakin, who made this known after leading the walkout in protest of the Speaker's decision.
Avoided service of the writ to do the bidding of the NDC is so clear, but we believe in the law. We, as the majority caucus, immediately are boycotting Parliament until this matter is determined by the Supreme Court. The Speaker has no right to interpret the Constitution, and it is so clear that what he did was to give advantage to the NDC and do the bidding of the NDC. We are not going to go further to litigate. We have a process at the court. We'll follow it up. If the court makes a pronouncement, we'll respect the orders of the court, but because we believe that the issues we have raised are issues for interpretation.
So that was Alexander Penyo-Markin. He was reacting to the Right Honourable Speaker's decision. Meanwhile, his opposite number, Dr. Kessel Atuforsen, has outlined steps that his side will be taking to take over the majority side of the House from next week. Of course, all of these are reactions to the Speaker's ruling on the 4 seats and his declaring of those seats as vacant.
We are here to do the business of the people of Ghana. We are here to begin the process to reset our country. Our country has gone through very difficult times. In fact, oftentimes, the people of Ghana have blamed Parliament for not standing up for the people of Ghana. But obviously, you can't blame the NDC minority because we were not having the working majority. Today, we have the working majority, and we'll begin the process to reset our country. We want to use this opportunity to assure the people of Ghana that the NDC majority will stand for the people of Ghana any day, any time. We will begin the process to move to the majority side and elect a new second deputy speaker on Tuesday.
So that's Dr. Kaziel Atuforsen, who leads the NDC.
This is serious. I mean, for me, we are I don't even know how to put it. We are in a very difficult situation as a country, economically and all of those things, Galamsey and things. And now, a parliament that's already split in the middle is going to go through 2 months of, I don't know what to call it, histrionics, because the MPP side say they're not going to go to parliament until the case is heard. All right? And Nathan, there's so many important things that Parliament does in our country.
Yes.
Not least this LI that has to be.
Yes, the LI 2462.
Now, I don't know if because the way parliamentary business works, executive lays, because you see, somebody explained it carefully that even though the majority side is now NDC, if that's what the new arrangement says, Apenyomarkin is the leader of government business. So if government wants to do anything, it must go through the leader of the MPP side.
Mm-hmm.
So they are saying they're not going to come to parliament. So does that mean that there's no parliamentary business until this
matter is resolved?
And then this is now saying that they are going to elect a second deputy speaker on their own.
Chaos.
I mean, what's going on? And I'm not saying I like one side or another side. It's worrying for me because a couple of things are going on. The business of the executive will slow down. And we don't want that. Executive, they are the people who've given executive power to run the country.
Yeah.
And they do it through parliament as a check and also. So executive business is hamstrung. Number 2, parliamentary business is affected. Whichever way you look at it. Because if the MPP side don't go, there are some things you can do, but you can't do everything. Because there are some things you need to test. Number 3, there's now pressure on the judiciary. Because now the judiciary too have been forced, they have to sort of sit on this on a short up. It's going to put more pressure.
Speed it up.
You get it? So it's a difficult time for us. And I don't know how this can be resolved. I don't know, because I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not even going to. Let me talk to the leader, Alexander Penyo-Markin.
Yes, he's joined us on the line.
MP for Futu, leader of government business. Until yesterday's judgment or decision, he was the majority. I'm not even sure if he agrees that he's a minority leader. I don't even know. Honorable Penyo-Markin, are you still the majority leader or are you not the minority leader?
Bernard, with the greatest respect and all due respect to you, I don't think that Mr. Speaker himself made that pronouncement, and I don't want us to fall into unnecessary traps. Even when, in the midst of the chaos he created, he still addressed me as majority leader, and he addressed Atuforsen as minority leader. In spite of the mistakes he himself was doing, he knew that there were areas he couldn't go to. So let's go straight to the point without creating unnecessary confusion. So
okay,
please address me.
Fair enough. What I wanted to understand, the implication of his ruling.
Well, don't let us go. He's created his own mischief, but don't let us fall for it.
No. That's actually where we are. That's the issue. The issue is that the Speaker of the Parliament has, based on his, I don't want to call it a ruling or judgment yesterday.
He says, wait, in his ruling,
yes,
he says he has declared the seat vacant.
Yes.
Stop there.
Yes.
He didn't go further by saying, he didn't go further to give consequential order. He said, he has declared the seat vacant. This is where he ended.
Yes, and I'm saying that by declaring the seats vacant, it means that the 4 members of parliament have been removed from parliament. Is that not what it means?
Well, if we want to do a full story, let me finish with a full story. As you may be well aware, we are already in court. At the time, he was making a ruling on a statement. And by the way, a speaker has no such mandate to make a ruling on a statement under Order 93. In our rules book, when a statement is made, let's make comment. And if Mr. Speaker, at the end of the comment, he wants to make consequential orders, he makes reference, he refers the thing to a committee. Order 93.6 is very clear. And we drew his attention to all of this. So he had no such power to make a ruling on a statement. It has never happened, and it is not part of our rules. If an applicant wants a matter to be determined, it comes by way of a motion. Now, one would also wonder why Mr. Speaker decided to set aside Haruna Idrisu's motion, notice of motion, for the matter to be determined. Bear in mind that in my response to Ato Fortin's statement, I drew the attention of Mr. Speaker, and indeed he was aware that I was with him in his office when Haruna brought his petition, which petition was to invoke his jurisdiction under the relevant rules to investigate the matter. I was copied, the minority leader was copied. Now, when somebody serves you a notice of a petition, your duty is to admit it or dismiss that. If you admit it, you refer it to a committee. And the committee's duty is to go through the whole motion. So, frankly speaking, I don't know what Mr. Speaker was up to, but he created this whole confusion, and I don't know to what end. Because Haruna Idrisu had an application before him. As we speak, the application, I don't know what has become of it, so he let it go. And even if under the 93 that Atu came under, he wanted to even refer the matter for further consideration, a committee was supposed to be set up. So it is all a matter of political football. They were just in a rush to create mischief. But some of these things you wouldn't to belabor.
But Honorable Apenyo, Mr. Babin had said on Tuesday that he was going to deliver a ruling on Thursday. So I think we heard him when he said this. Did you point out to him that he could not do that based on what you are telling me now? Because he actually announced that he would think about it for 2 days.
Is my witness, Mr. Bernard Avlet. Hansard is my witness. Even yesterday, I continuously pointed it out to him. That's why he wanted to have a banter with me. And out of respect for him, I just left quiet because he's the last person I would want to have a banter with. He's an elderly person. We may disagree, but I have vowed that from the day I came on the seat, I said that practice where when a leader is upset over matter, he would have a banter with speaker. I vowed never to do it because no matter what, that chair, no matter what, even if he errs, even if he does mischief, that chair must be respected. And that is what I did. And I didn't want to lose my cool.
Fair enough.
Mr. Bagbin was told that he couldn't do what he did. In fact, I directed service when he told the legal directorate not to receive the process. The bailiffs went there. They were serving the legal officers, and they told him that the bailiff that they should wait. They have to go and consult Mr. Speaker. They went to Mr. Speaker. When they came back, they said that they couldn't receive it. I went to Mr. Speaker to inquire, Mr. Speaker, why? What is going on here? My witness is Honorable Amwakwe Siama, the second deputy speaker. The two of us were in his office together. All right? I went to Mr. Speaker and said, Mr. Speaker, what is going on here? The court bailiff has come. The legal people are saying, Nanateria and Wendy Yabua are saying that they have to come and consult you before they receive a court process. What is going on here? Then he explained to me that indeed they came to consult him because there is a circular from the Chief Justice regarding sanitizing service of court processes, and that the understanding they reached was that processes of court should be served on Parliament only on Mondays, because Mondays are the days we don't sit, and that the legal department is supposed to receive all processes for and on behalf of Mr. Speaker. I said, okay. Then I went further by saying that, Mr. Speaker, but this matter is an urgent matter. It's an urgent matter that Harun Idrisu has filed. I have also filed for interpretation, because clearly it's a matter that requires interpretation. And he agreed with me that yes, but then we should wait for the Monday. So in my presence, he called the Chief Justice to, have a discussion regarding the service of the process. He could not reach the Chief Justice. I called the Judicial Secretary, because he asked me if I can get the Judicial Secretary so that we can get the Chief Justice to give directives. Now, the whole point was that if we are going to wait for Monday to serve the process, then you don't have to rush to go and give a ruling. That was the understanding we all had. If indeed we all want to act in good faith, we want to protect the democracy, and it isn't the case that somebody has an agenda to embarrass somebody to give an advantage to another person, then there was no need to rush to come and give a ruling or to even come and hear a matter. My understanding was that they would wait till the Monday, which is the supposed day agreed on for service to be effected. But then the next day on Wednesday, based on what he said, I became a bit apprehensive. And I said, no, under the law, plaintiff can direct service. So when the bailiffs came again, I went to the legal directorate and directed service. And they duly served, and then they notified Mr. Speaker that the process has been served on them. You remember that on the floor, he tried to bring that matter up, and I sought to clarify, but he wouldn't want any of that, so I had to back up. Now, let's put that aside. The essence of parliamentary practice is to give all parties an opportunity to be heard. That is why we have our rules. Now, the question that any reasonable man on the streets of Ghana should ask is, why the rush? Why did they set aside Harun Idrisu's petition, which is a proper motion? Why is it that mischievously Atu Forson would have to now come out with a statement? He came under Order 93 and said he's making a statement. Because they realized that the Harun Idrisu route will not give them the solution that they wanted immediately. And soon thereafter, their flag bearer was on the campaign platform commenting on the ruling that, yes, they have it. If we're really serious about our democracy, we can do better than this, and we should do better than we are doing.
Let me understand what you took to the Supreme Court. What was are you asking them to interpret the status of the four on the basis of the motion Haruna was supposed to have filed or the statement Atu made? What did you send to the Supreme Court?
All right. So my processes preceded Haruna's petition. However, it took roots from the intention that he had expressed on the campaign platform. So basically, this is what I said. Look, we have this provision under the Article 97, all right? And that these individuals, I did the three, because the three are the members of my caucus. So my plaint was basically that those three, although they have filed to become parliamentary candidates for the next election, currently they still remain members of my caucus. They have the two, Suhum and Agona West, have not resigned from the party. They have not written to me as a leader of the party in Parliament to say that they are no more with us as a caucus. The independent candidate, who is the deputy speaker, second deputy speaker, has also not written to me to say that he is no more part of our caucus, although he has filed to contest as an MPP candidate for the next election. So I lay down those bare facts to also state in conclusion that none of them has crossed carpet. Now, what were my reliefs? My reliefs were to the effect that, one, that the Speaker of Parliament be restrained from making any declaration, which declaration would be as a result of an application from either any member of Parliament that those people, by virtue of their decision for the next election, they have cross-carpet. And two, that a declaration be made by the court to the effect that the fact that a person has filed a nomination for the next election on a different ticket other than the current ticket upon which that person entered Parliament does not amount to the person crossing carpet. So, in essence, these are the two key reliefs.
So, by the way, how different is this from what the MPP did to the same Andrew Esiama Amoako? Because in 2020, let me ask the question, then you answer, please. I remember that the party was unhappy that he had filed to be an independent candidate and wrote to Speaker Okwe complaining about that. And I remember that Okwe ruled that Mr. Esiama could no longer hold himself as an MP, if I'm mistaken. So what is the difference between the two situations?
All right. One, the party has not written a letter to the Speaker to make a complaint. That is the first thing. Two, Speaker Okwe is not a court. Granted, without admitting that there was an error in terms of precedent. Should we maintain or continue in that error? Three, the matter under 97, whether or not somebody qualifies to remain in Parliament if he expresses an intent for future elections and a different ticket, is a matter for constitutional interpretation. Now again, the decision to declare vacancy, to declare a seat vacant, is governed by Article 99, which is also the jurisdiction of the High Court. Again, the Constitution itself anticipates that there could be situations where vacancies could arise. But it speaks to add that when it is 90 days to election, where such vacancy arises, there is no need for a by-election. There can't be a by-election. In other words, what Mr. Bagwin, Right Honorable Speaker, did yesterday was more or less to deny people an opportunity to be represented. Again, what he did yesterday was to arrogate to himself the power of interpretation. Although in his words, during the supposed ruling, he claimed that he knows that he doesn't have the power to interpret the Constitution. But practically, impliedly, what he did was to make a declaration and interpret the Constitution, which is what he did. All right? But this is politics. Okay?
You're saying this is more politics than law because from the difference you just gave me.
What he did it is politics.
No problem. What I'm saying is that the major difference between the two situations, based on what you've just told me, is the fact that in the 2020 situation, the NPP wrote to the Speaker. But in the 2024 situation, the parties have not yet written to tell the Speaker that this person has forfeited their membership. That's the major difference. But in terms of what...
That is the point.
But I'm saying that by respect of what Speaker Okwe did and what Speaker Bagwin have done essentially is the same thing.
What I'm saying is, and let me make it very clear, I hold a view that under Article 97 of the Constitution, no speaker can make a pronouncement which pronouncement will amount to interpreting the Constitution. This is my very humble view, and I want to make it very clear.
And have you always had that view? Did you have that view when Speaker Okwe did that in 2020?
I am telling you,
or it's
that
a new
this
view?
Is my view.
No, I'm asking because the consistency is important. It's a principle, right? So are you saying that when it happened in 2020, you had that same view?
Bernard, respect. Before you say that, lay the foundation well. You can only say that if I had previously commented. Then you can now ask me whether or not I am being consistent.
But you didn't express a dissenting view at the time.
No.
You didn't express a dissenting view at the
time.
That,
no. I am saying that it is my view. You know Parliament. You know Parliament well enough that we work in Parliament in caucus and through leadership. All right? It's part of the whipping system. I am a leader, and I make those pronouncements for and on behalf of colleagues. And I have the authority of the party to make certain pronouncements. If you are a backbencher, you don't go rabble-rousing all over the place. So don't let us go there.
No, but what I'm saying, it's not. You see, Honorable, it's not even about. This is not even about opinion marking.
Say whether or not.
No, the question is not. The question is not about you necessarily. The question is that in 2020,
you put a question to me.
Okay,
You ask me whether I'm being consistent. I'll say this is my opinion. I've expressed an opinion that this matter of
no problem. Let's make progress.
A matter for interpretation.
What I'm seeking to ask is whether the MPP as a party saw anything wrong with what Speaker Okwe did at the time, for which now they are against what Speaker Babin is doing. Because as I'm pointing out to you stridently, with the exception of the trigger of the letter, essentially the same situation. So did the party see anything wrong with it at the time, or is it because now it advantages the party that now they say that it is wrong? That's the question I'm asking you, as a party, not as necessarily you.
Bernard, let me answer one part of your question, and then leave the other. The part that I'm able to answer is whether or not there's a letter from the party complaining. Bear in mind that the provisions in 97 are essentially to protect the political parties and protect individual constituents who elect their MPs. Now, you ask, what is the difference? The difference is that the political party, in this case, we are not talking only MPP, even NDC itself, with all their mischief, NDC through General Secretary Fifi Kwete has not written to Mr. Speaker to complain about Honorable Kwachi Aka. The NDC has not issued any public statement to say that it has fired its member or its member who is going independent has forfeited its membership. The NDC through its minority leader, Dr. Fawcett, has not issued a statement in Parliament that Mr. Kwachi Aka is no more part of their caucus. So let's get those fundamental things right. As to issues of somebody did something yesterday and all that, I mean, I wouldn't want to go there.
So let me understand that. Does your case, because so the question would be, do you need a letter from a party to trigger what some would consider to be something that's very clear in the way the Constitution is written for the? Of course, we are the untrained mind, right? Does a party need to say, I have sacked you, for us to know that you've left your party? Because there are some things you do that trigger. So, for example, you leave a party and go and stand as a flag bearer of another party. So, even if MPP hasn't written to Alan, the fact that Alan is running on the butterfly or whatever as 2024, and the people who have followed him from MPP, they've automatically forfeited. Do you understand? So you don't have to, MPP doesn't have to write to Nano Hinito to say you've left MPP. By the action of going to support Alan, he is out of MPP. And I'm saying that, can you not stretch that to say it's the same thing? Once you've gone to a new party to run on their ticket, there's an automaticity there. You don't need a party to write anything.
It depends on the context. And I think that the argument must be in context rather than being hypothetical or generalizing. If we generalize it and subject it to a general logic, we may throw ourselves in a state of confusion. But I believe humbly that if we contextualize the argument properly, we can make a great sense out of it. All right? You ask the question whether the political parties need to do any communication. Yes, to some extent and in context, depending on the situation. Like when the NDC wanted to change its leadership, they wrote to the speaker that we as NDC, this is what we want to do. And that speaker recognized this following as our leaders. Similarly, when MPP wanted to do, when MPP took certain decisions and make, same was communicated. Now, as a leader, if there is any matter, anybody who is part of my caucus has decided to leave the caucus and all, there would be the need for a communication that I have to receive from the party, and if I have to communicate them to speaker, I must. You see, Bernard, we must allow systems and policies and processes to guide in democracy. If we go by the rule of automaticity, there will be chaos. Otherwise, for instance, when after the election, there will be no need for a formal process of declaration. Somebody will say that, I've compared and I've seen that I have 1.5 million votes, somebody has 1.3 million votes, so I'm the winner. And then the person will declare.
I understand your point, but you see, I'm not over legislating this, but for me, in my recent memory, I remember when Wayoseni crossed carpet. It was a dramatic incident in, I think, 2004. I don't recall a court getting involved. When he crossed carpet, there was a by-election and Inus Afuseni got into parliament. Okay, so the precedent of this cross-carpeting thing that we have seen, this is the first time I'm seeing it's becoming a court issue. It's always been parliament, speaker ruling, and then that's the end.
Bernard, I beg you. That's why I said let's just have distinguished the facts. The Wayoseni case was a typical carpet crossing. He is an NDC member. On his own, he crosses to NDC MPP and says that makes a pronouncement in the Hansard himself. He says in Parliament that from today, I am no more a member of NDC. I have left NDC and I am going to MPP. Now it gets into the Hansard. I'm saying that if the proper process was followed to trigger a by-election at the time, then it's an opportunity for all of us as a country to bring clarity to the matter. That if in the past nobody really bothered, because I have heard argument that Honorable Rashid Bawa, for instance, Honorable Dick Abubakar Siddiq, who was Salaga South MP, at the time came on as an independent member of parliament, and then Honorable Rashid Bawa of blessed memory, Akan constituency, came on as an independent member of parliament in the 2000 election, and then in 2004 had joined the MPP, and then you hear some senior members saying that, look, when this thing happened, nobody was really bothered, and nothing happened. Why is somebody raising all of that and all of that? I'm saying that perhaps if somebody had gone to the Supreme Court for interpretation at the time, they would have established the precedent, which precedent would have guided Professor Quay. But you see, in the midst of confusion, it's an opportunity to straighten things up. So I am very upset, disappointed in what Mr. Speaker Godwin has done. However, I am also taking solace in the fact that there's an opportunity to bring clarity on an aspect
Yeah,
of our
wonderful.
law,
So your case is important. I have two final questions for you on the fact that your case was made before the speaker's actions, right? So and from my interview with you, it appears you think the speaker went out of whatever his order, for want of a better word. So, but basically, you have not questioned his actions in your case. So, are you going to amend that? Because all the points you are raising here will not be in what you've sent to the court. That's point number one. Point number two, your decision to boycott Parliament until the case is heard, is that not going to be injurious to government business? Because we do know that there are a lot of critical issues. For example, this LI 2462 is one of the major promises the president made to the people of Ghana, that he would get his minister to begin the process. So if you are going to be absent from Parliament until that case is heard, and we are not in control of what happens in the courts, will this not injure the business of government irreparably? Yes. Hello, did you get my question, please?
Well, made yesterday have better consequences. And I believe